Built-in features like machine learning, geospatial analysis, and intelligent caching for business intelligence. I request Professor Sandeep More sir, convener of today's international workshop on Google BigQuery, to introduce the resource person, Mr. Ajay Moorjani, Head of Data and Analytics, EasyShip Limited, United Kingdom. Over to you, More sir.
Thank you, Sai. Today we have resource person Mr. Ajay Moorjani, who has 8+ years of hands-on building experience in the data engineering with the clients in the UK, Hong Kong, and India. He has built large-scale end-to-end data pipelines with experience in the batch as well as streaming data. He has developed automated data processing systems for the data modeling, mining, production while also being scalable and efficient. His experience shows a decent knowledge of pipeline development, infrastructure, and scaling. Mr. Ajay have used a wide range of technologies like batch processing, like Apache have AWS Redshift, Spectrum, Google BigQuery, SAP IQ, Apache Spark, MySQL, and KSQL. Data ingestion and string processing, structure string Google Cloud Data Flow. Data architecture and infra management. KITS orchestration, Docker containers, AWS EMR, Google Dataproc, AWS S3, and Google Cloud Storage, AWS EC2, GCP Compute Engine. Data visualization experience in the D3.js, PyChart.js, and Tableau. He has also experience in data science and artificial intelligence and family. He has more interested in designing data architecture and have learning, building, and contributing skills at. Thank you, Mr. Ajay, once again for our invitation. I request Mr. Ajay Pujari to the invitation. Thank you. Ajay, unmute.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Sorry, I missed the last part when you said continue.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction. It's amazing to look back at my CV and see so many things I've done, which I didn't look at previously. So thank you so much. That's a very detailed introduction of my work experience. I appreciate that. Okay, so today we are going to talk about BigQuery and data warehouse in particular. At any point of time, if you have any questions or if you want to ask anything, feel free to disturb me. This will be a very, not a long session, but kind of precise to make you understand how BigQuery works, what is data warehouse, ETL, visualization. So it will kind of give you a whole picture of how a data pipeline or a data product works in the entire company in terms of corporate experience. So I know you guys must have learned about all these technologies in your subject. I think there is a BigQuery subject, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong here. But yeah, you guys must have learned all the theory, but actually using them in company is something very different. And today you will take home something from that session. Make sense? I want this session to be interactive, so I want people to either reply on chat or just say yes or no, or if you understood, or if you have any questions. Thank you. Appreciate that. So let me share my screen. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Kishore. Thank you, Ansari. Okay. I will share my screen now, and let me know if you guys can look at this screen. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Nice, nice. So we have 73 participants. That's amazing. To be honest, I've never delivered a speech or a presentation to a big audience like this. This is my first experience. Before I start, let me give you a quick background. So I am from Mumbai. So I started. I did my bachelor's in Thadumal, which is TSEC in Bandra. I'm sure you guys must know that college. And then I did my diploma in Vivekanand, which is in Chembur. Then after that, I started working in an analytics company called Fractal Analytics. It's a unicorn company which is based out of New York and US. New York and London. And then after working there, I moved to UK. I was working for Sky, which is, if you guys know Tata Sky, Sky is a big company in the UK, which is again in television and news and everything. So after working at Sky, I moved to Hong Kong from UK. That was a different experience. I was working for a small startup called Lalamove, which is again into analytics. I was leading the team over there. I was the first engineer. Then from Hong Kong, I moved back to UK. I was again working in logistics, but into data. I'm again leading a team here of data engineers, data scientists, BI analyst. It's a kind of a big team here. And so to summarize my journey, I started as an engineer, and now I'm managing a team of quite a few engineers in the UK. So quite a good experience on data analytics. And today we are going to talk about data warehouse, not just BigQuery. BigQuery is a tool that is used for data warehousing, but it's data warehousing 101 using Google BigQuery. Right? When I say 101, it's a basic understanding. This is the first session. Of course, I want you guys to also take home something, but not be overwhelmed by a lot of information, right? So that'll be today's session. What will be the agenda? First, we'll do the introduction. I want this session to be interactive. As I said, I want you guys to ask questions, learn something from this. I will ask question and you have to answer that. So it's not just I am speaking and you're listening. No, you have to answer questions as well. Then the second would be some interesting theory. I know theory is boring for you guys. You guys have done a lot of theory in the college already, but there has to be some theory. Then the third one would be more interesting theory, and I promise it will not be boring this time. Any guesses on the fourth one? What do you guys think would be the fourth agenda here? So second is theory, third is theory. What's the fourth agenda?
Practical session.
Implementations.
Sorry, but it's again a last bit of interesting theory. So there will be 3 theory parts. I'm going to break it down. Yes, exactly, Jaya. Yeah, so it'll be interesting theory, last bit of interesting theory. And then we move on to demo. So we start with our introduction with all of you guys. I want you guys to quickly introduce yourself. Not now, I'll come to that. Then we'll do some theory. We'll break down the data engineering or the pipeline into three different parts. And I promise it is not going to be boring. You'll see that. And then we'll do the practical demos. Make sense? All good? Okay, let's move on. So what will be the outcome? Okay, Vasuli, thank you for that comment. What will be the outcome of this session? At the end of the session, you should be able to build your own data mart in Google BigQuery. That will be the first aim. And the second would be you should be able to build a Google Data Studio. So that will be the outcome of this session. All right. Does any one of you have any experience on BigQuery and Google Data Studio? Could you comment down, please? If you have experience, no experience, I want to know what your understanding is in terms of the audience here. So any experience in BigQuery? Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, Pranav. Thank you, Shehzad. Thank you, no experience. Siddharth says no experience. Bhavesh, no experience. Ekta, Tamanna, Vineet. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Amazing. So that's nice. Again, I think then I've, thank you, Vaishali. Thank you, Aditya. Vaishnavi, sorry. Thank you so much. I think that means the session that I've made over here, or the tutorial that I've made, is amazing. It's going to be one-on-one. It's going to be start from scratch. So you guys would learn something from here. Nice. So let's start. Okay. I want you guys to introduce yourself. Please type in your name, college, or employer in the chat, if that's possible. Thank you, Ajay. Ajay is the first Ajay introduction. Mohit from Vatumal, thank you. Siddharth, thank you, Vatumal as well. Sai from Vatumal. Rahul. Okay, I see quite a few from Vatumal and Vesit as well. Vivekanand, amazing. I don't know what is SSGB. Could you guys let me know what is SSGB? Thank you, Jaya. Hi, Jaya. Jaya is from my batch, I guess. TSEC. What is SSGB? Rajiv Gandhi, Shobna. Then there's Pushpak from Vatumal. Could you guys let me know what is SSGB college?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi,
sir.
Ram.
This is Professor Ram Agrawal.
Hi, Ram Agarwal. How are you?
This is the Sri Santa Gadge Baba College of Engineering and Technology.
And where is it? In Mumbai?
Yeah, it's in Maharashtra, near in Jalgaon region.
Oh, that's nice. So
Yeah.
we have audience from Jalgaon as well. That's amazing.
Yeah, we love to connect to this workshop for understanding Google and many features.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Kerala as well. We have
We are looking forward for an excellent session today.
amazing. That's
in
good.
this afternoon.
You would have that session. That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's why we have joined.
Thank you, Snehal from Bhusawal. There's Arthe. I don't know if I spelled that properly, from Kerala. That's amazing. Vranjana, Anushka. And there's one from my batch as well. Pankaj Gaming. I don't know who that person is. From VESP, Vivekanand Education. Have Snehal from Bhusawal. Thank you so much, guys. All right. So thank you so much for your introduction. Again, we'll start the session. We have quite a few people from Mumbai, Maharashtra, Kerala, all across India. I think there's someone from Hong Kong as well. So thank you for joining. Let's start. Again, as I said, I want this session to be interactive. I don't want me speaking all the time like we do it in the colleges. No, this is going to be interactive. All right, start. Okay, what is operational data source? This is the first theory. I'm going to take an example here. I'm going to take an example of you guys use every day, which is Instagram. So the entire story, the entire theory would be based on Instagram as an example. And we'll study about their data source and how the data flows. So it'll be funny session. So imagine you post Instagram post, like do a video on Instagram, like a reel. And your Instagram is about Badam Badam. I don't know if you guys know about this or not. But let's say if you do a post, from your Instagram, you make a video of dancing yourself and post about this. And two people like. So one is Tom. Tom is in your friend list. I don't know how do you get Tom in your friend list. And then there is Ramesh, who liked your reel, TikTok, sorry, Instagram reel. Okay. Remember, two people have liked it so far. Then Suresh commented. Of course, Ramesh has liked. That means Suresh has commented on the post. X number of people who have viewed. So A, B, C, D, E, F. People have viewed this reel. So all of this, when people like, comment, and view, is all stored in Instagram's backend database, right? So Instagram is a mobile app. People comment, people like, everything goes to the backend server. It can be anything. It can be MySQL, it can be Postgres, it can be Oracle. Maybe if they use Oracle, if they're that old, maybe. But yeah, everything that is done using a mobile app or a web app, if it's a Flipkart or Amazon that you buy products, everything goes to a operational data source, which is called ODS. All right. That's operational data source in terms of Instagram. That's a very basic example, high level understanding. You don't have to overcomplicate this over here, right? So an ODS is a database designed to integrate data from multiple sources. So like, comment, weather updates, you guys also put location in your Instagram stories. So that's multiple data sources for additional operations on the data. So for example, reporting, controls, or decision support. It may be passed to further operations and to data warehousing for reporting. So basically, if I have to put in a very simple terms, whatever data that you collect from the front end, it could be application, web application, or anything that goes to the backend database is an operational data source in terms of data architecture, right? And this is from Wikipedia. This is a Wikipedia definition. I've tried to simplify it using Instagram as an example. Any questions? This is the first part of theory. Any questions, comments, any examples that you guys want to talk about? Guys, I want you to speak up, please. No comments? No examples? Any examples that you guys want to give in terms of operational data source? Could be Amazon, Flipkart.
Best example I have is one of the credit card department.
Mm-hmm.
When we apply for a credit card or we can say about debit card. So normally bank used to collect our data and we become an unknown to a known customer. Okay, and
Yes.
those data are extremely used for an further purpose. Like,
Exactly.
as we had applied for debit card, they will also generate our request for a credit card with the sales department, and they just promote our contact, and we get a promotional calls and requirements. As we are known customer, we get some additional benefits and other things which attracts us. So this is a
Absolutely.
flow from front end to sales, front to front end. Okay. And then further, this flow carried forward to an back end, when middle end to back end, how it is carried, like when we want to opt for an add-on card or some additional things we approach, like fixed deposits, or can say demat account or such like things. When we approach for So they get an additional details of us, as well as our add-on cards, family members, and the dependents and independent members in our family. And so the data is further used for a personal loan, or for other benefits which will be in future required, or in future which can be used for to generate a other business line of business for a company or a bank. So this is one example, I believe.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's a quite detailed example here. Thank you, Madhuri. Yes, you're right. When the financial institutes collect our data, it goes to the operational data source as well. That's a very good example. Thank you so much. Bhavesh says Myntra.com. Yes, absolutely correct. So whenever you buy anything, you click on something. Even if you click on something, that goes to the ODS, and that's how you get recommendation. I don't know what Shahir is saying. Archive. I'm not sure about that. All right, so we have two examples here. One is Myntra.com and one is the financial institutes. Absolutely correct. So that's our operational data source. I hope that is clear. Now let's move on to the next one, which is data warehouse. So what is a data warehouse? Okay, again, I'm taking the same example. Okay, Mohit has to say e-com websites like Redbus, Swiggy, Zomato. Yes, that's correct. So that's the example of operational data source. Okay, Shahir has to say, is such financial data stored in encrypted form or unencrypted form in ODS? So that depends, right? So I was working for Visa. I'm sure you guys know Visa cards. All the data is encrypted. Nothing is decrypted. Everything is encrypted, stored in ODS. You cannot identify any individual person in the ODS. That's a very good question. Because let's say if you are working for a financial institute and you can identify a person based on the card number, that's a loss of personal information. And it's quite serious here in the UK and Europe. And if anyone is exposing their card number or even location, that company will shut down instantly. So never ever we store unencrypted data. It's always encrypted, right? So anything related to personal information is always encrypted in ODS. Thank you for that question. All right, let's move on. Okay, so what is data warehouse? Again, I'm taking the same example as I took previously, which is Instagram. You remember, 2 people have liked, 1 has commented. So let's say you open this, your post that you have done on Instagram, and you want to see how many people have liked and viewed, right? So that's a count. Number of people liked, number of people commented, number of locations, number of followers, number of comments, anything which is aggregated, which is rolled up. When I say rolled up, let's say 5 people have liked, number is 5. That's a roll-up value, right? So whatever you see as a roll-up value over here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but you see that's called like by X person and 17,500. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a number. And that number is aggregated and stored in the data warehouse. You see, so data warehouse has connection from ODS, which is backend database, weather data, ads clicked, everything goes into data warehouse. And from that data warehouse, the data is aggregated and it is shown back into an Instagram, whatever the front end is, right? So data warehouse are central repositories of integrated data from one or more data sources, right? One or more disparate data sources, so weather, ads, and backend. And they store current and historic data in one single place, right? So that's one single place for creating analytical reports. Over here, I've simplified the example, but the numbers which are aggregated are stored in data warehouse. And all the history is stored in the data warehouse as well. right? So this is again the same example. What is a data warehouse in terms of Instagram? That's the second part of theory. Any other questions on this one? Any examples that you guys want to mention about data warehouse apart from ODS? Madhuri, do you have a same example for data warehouse for the financial institute? All right, if no examples, we can move on. Shahid, you have again mentioned an archive. Could you elaborate more on this? Or is just your typo, you're typing it accidentally? All right, let's move on. Storing of historical data. Yes, archive. Oh, you mean archive? So storing of historical data, to be honest, storing of historical data and archive are two different things. In data warehouse, we don't archive. It's all live data. So archive is basically when we store something in the data lake, which I will come to when I show you guys the diagram. But thank you for that question. Shobna says data warehouse for sales department. Absolutely correct. So we can build all the clients and all the leads that the sales team have to reach in a data warehouse. That's correct, Shobna. All right, I think Bhavesh says sales data, customer data, supplier details. Yes, absolutely correct. So any data in a company which has different data sources, and they imagine this data warehouse is a big bucket of water where you fill water from different sources. It's a very big tank of water, and all the water comes from different places. I don't know if that example is good or not, but yeah, that's how it is. And data warehouse is also one place where all the data in the company is consolidated. So for example, in my company at EasyShip, if any team wants to know about any data, they reach out to me. They're like, do we have this? Do we have that? They don't go to the tech team. They don't go to the backend developers. They reach out to the data team. They're like, okay, do we know how many people have bought this product, or how many people have shipped from Mumbai to Kolkata? What is the parcel size? So all this data is stored in data warehouse. Cool. Thank you. Let's move on. That's the second. The third. Oh yeah. One more thing that I forgot to mention here is data in the data warehouse can be loaded in two forms. One is ETL and one is ELT. So ETL is extract, transform, and load. So basically, you extract data from ODS, which is your backend DB. You transform the data, and then you load in data warehouse. And then there is second format where you extract the data from backend DB, you load it, and then you transform in BigQuery in data warehouse. I do that in BigQuery and in my company at EasyShip. So that's how we do it. ELT, we don't do ETL, but a lot of companies do ETL as well. There's no harm. It depends on how you want to do it, right? I'm sure you guys must have ELT or ETL in your BigQuery subject. If you guys have it in your final SEM, I'm not sure about that. Do you guys have BigQuery or data warehouse in your, or big data in your subject as a study? Thank you, Ekta. Yes. Bhavesh says no, not in the current SEM. Okay, maybe you have it in the future then. This is a good basic understanding for you. Shobna says how fact constellation schema is used. Okay, we have data warehouse and mining. Okay, Shobna says how fact constellation schema is used. I'm not sure what is facts constellation schema here, but there are, if I have to go into a detailed explanation, there are two types of schemas. One is fact and one is dimension. Again, if I speak over here, you guys won't understand. But if I have to give you an example, so anything which is a number, like number of likes, number of views, number of comments, is a factual data, and it is stored in a fact schema. Whereas anything which is string or anything which is variable, like my name, my address, a store name or parcel name, anything which is a name is a dimension. So anything which is a number is a fact, everything else is a dimension. So that's fact and dimensions. I'm not sure, Shobna, if I answer your question correctly over here, but yeah, feel free to ask a follow-up question if you have any doubt, right? Let's move on. I think we are running short of time. Now the third part is data utilization. I think Madhuri already explained that in terms of financial institutions, they take your data and they recommend you some products, right? So that's a data utilization. So let's say again, Instagram post, you have this post that you have done. You've seen a lot of videos on this particular subject, and then you get recommendations on this particular subject, right? When you go to Instagram, you click on that search icon over there. It's basically looking at what people are doing. You get that same example, right? Same type of content that you like. The moment you start liking any motorcycle or any car videos, you will get that in the recommendation. The moment you start looking at any beauty products or anything, you will start getting that recommendation, right? So that's a data utilization. For example, over here is a content recognition recommendation machine learning algorithm. And that algorithm takes data from data warehouse, right? So that's one kind of data utilization. So data utilization is where data from the data warehouse is used for different purposes like reporting, machine learning, financial reconciliation, market campaigns, you name it. Everything, because data warehouse is a big chunk of data. You can do a lot of things with that. So that's why we are talking about data warehouse today. It's a very important topic if you guys want to move ahead with your career in data analytics. You need to understand what is a data warehouse. All right. I hope you understood what a data warehouse is. So we started with, let me recap. We started with operational data source. All the data is stored in operational data source. Then data warehouse is a consolidation of operational data source. So basically everything from different data source goes to data warehouse. And data utilization is basically using that data from data warehouse and doing recommendation, reporting, etc. All right, let me show you an example here. This is how a professional data architecture looks like. I don't know if you guys are using a mobile, if it's clear or not, but let me try to zoom in. So over here, you have data ingestion. So on the left, which is a production data server, and you have Kafka streams that goes to the data lake, which is a staging place. All the data, this is the ODS, goes to the data lake. In terms of the cloud, it could be Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage. You do the ETL or ELT. Everything goes to data warehouse. BigQuery is one of the tool in data warehouse. And this is data aggregation. I'm sorry, I'm rushing over here so that I can ask more questions. And then you have data utilization, which is data visualization. You give access to different people in the company, which is access layer, you have API layer, and you have machine learning team utilizing the data. So that's how an architecture looks like in a company, a product-based company which use the data. And then on the top over here, you have an orchestration. So basically orchestration in simple terms is automation. So basically when you get the data from your ODS to data warehouse, you have to automate that. Every day you want to get that data, right? You want to see how many likes have you get every day, right? So all the data that goes from ODS to data warehouse is automated every day. And that is done using orchestration. And we use Apache Airflow as an example here. It's an open source technology which helps in automating everything, right? All right, so this is how an architecture looks like. Any questions, any thoughts, any comments here? Okay, we have 2 questions so far. Asmita is asking, what is the difference between data lake and data warehouse? How do they differ in terms of data? So data lake is basically staging. So for example, in Kafka is a real-time data source. So anything that comes is a JSON. I'm sure you guys know JSON, CSV, if you're from computer engineering. So everything that comes in a different data format is stored in a data lake. But in data warehouse, it's all tabular format. Everything is a table. Everything is organized into a proper format so that it can be used easily. So that's different between data lake and a data warehouse. The second question is, data warehouse is non-volatile. The previous data is not erased. When the new data is entered in it, then how can we store live data? I think the answer is in your question. So when you say the previous data is not erased, and the new data is entered, that means we are storing the live data, isn't it? Right? So you're getting the old data, you're also having the new data, and everything is stored in data warehouse, even in data lake. I don't know if I answered your question, Shobna, but feel free to ask a follow-up. Any other questions? Okay, Asmita says we have SDC for that, which captures changes. Yes. So again, SDC is a slowly changing dimension. I don't want to get into that topic right now. It's too complicated for you guys. But if you have to take away from this session and learn again, or do some more research, feel free to learn what is SCD, which is slowly changing dimension. Slowly changing. Okay. All right. If nothing, then I'll take a break and then we move on to the demo. Okay. Any questions? Then we'll move on to directly demo. So yeah, feel free to ask questions now about the theory. I hope the theory was interesting and not boring, like taking an example of Instagram here.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you, Madhuri. Thank you, Bhavesh. Don't call me sir, please.
Sir,
Okay.
I'm
I can
Shobna.
ask you one question.
Yeah, please.
As I'm a very new BA, okay, I am actually having 11 years of experience, but that is altogether from operations. And I recently moved into an IT, that exactly not into an IT also, as a BA, where I has to communicate with the existing clients and understand their requirements gathering, and then I had to understand their need, and then I had to communicate with the IT team and help them in creating a software and testing and all those stuffs, right? I hope you might have a very good knowledge and picture about BA's roles and responsibilities, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah, go on.
So I want to move my career into AI. Okay, and I am holding only bachelor's degree. That is from commerce. So which course or which post graduation course you will suggest? As I'm looking ahead my career more into in data analyzing and artificial intelligence, machine learning, a lot into that. So I'm a bit confused between many terms, like some of my friends suggest MSc, some suggested me BMCA, some suggested me like artificial intelligence course itself. There is some courses, and one of the California University has also suggested me their own CBAP, and many things. So I am actually, and I don't want to get misguided. So I can see you are quite experienced and handling a team of IT guys, and quite good chunk of people you are able to make them understand. So I hope you can understand my situation and can help me in picking a good course for my further studies and further career building.
Thank you. That's a very valid question. To be honest, I'll be very, very blunt here. But the degree, whatever degree you do, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. You just have to do practical. I would suggest you to not do any like a master's degree. I have not done any masters, to be honest. I'm just a bachelorette here. Sorry, a bachelor's degree. No masters. I would suggest you to do some courses on Coursera. Start with basic data analytics. Don't go into AI. AI is an advanced level. Start with basics. Get your basics clear. Anywhere you go for an interview, they will ask you what is SQL, what is a data warehouse. So that's why we are having this session right now. I want you to understand the basics of data analytics before jumping into machine learning or analytics. AI. So start with basics. Do any course on Coursera. You know Coursera, right?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, search Coursera. Let me.
Can you just spell it out so that
Yeah,
I can...
Coursera. I've just typed in the comments. So do some courses over there. There are good business intelligence course that you can do. So the way it starts is, if you want to start your analytics career, you start with the business intelligence. Then you moved into data engineering. Then you move into data science, and then you move into AI. So that's the career progression. But you always start with business intelligence. And that's the tools that I'm discussing today are the ones used in business intelligence.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing.
Okay,
Thank you.
Ajay. Please drop me the message of that.
Yeah, I've already dropped a message on the chat.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Over to you.
Sir,
Yeah, Shobna, go on, please.
sir, I asked a question. Data warehouse is volatile.
Yeah.
Sir, it's non-volatile. That is, we couldn't erase the data. So if we store live data, then the storage becomes exhausted, right? I know
Storage will never.
Huge repository, I know.
Yes.
Still, we store live data, then that storage may get exhausted at one time.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
I get your question. Thank you. So this is exactly same question what Shahir is asking. What if while recording data, data warehouse reached its maximum storage capacity? I think it's a very valid question. To be honest, Google BigQuery doesn't have limit. There's no limit. There's no limit of data that you store in BigQuery. However, in Amazon, if you use Redshift, there is a data limit. So the way we do it is we archive the data. So we move from warehouse to archive, which we are not going to use in the future. So let's say 5 years in the past, my company started in 2014 or something. And let's say if we reach the maximum limit of data warehouse, which we don't actually, but let's say if we reach the maximum limit, we'll try to archive the data which was 2014 and 2015 into a cold storage, which we will never use. So that's how we reduce the data. We remove it from the back and we keep on appending in the front, right? So that's first in, first out, if you guys want to understand in data structures term. I'm sure you guys must have known first in, first out, right? So yeah, that's to summarize. We store it in an archive storage, FIFO principle, right? See, whatever you study in the college is useful in the corporate world. Trust me.
Papa.
Papa, यहाँ पे. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Okay, Ajay, move on.
Yes. Let's move on. Okay, I have one. Shumna, let's talk about the session after the session. Okay, let's do a quick one demo. Right. Okay. Okay. We are running short of time, so I'll just do. I decided to do 2 demos, but I'll do only 1 demo today. Running short of time. Okay, so this is how Google Cloud looks like, the front page, and then you click over here, go to console. So basically, this is your dashboard of Google Cloud. On the left-hand side, you see all your projects, your resources. Yeah, this is your dashboard. You see all your trace messages, your error messages, your API request over here. What's the status if any service is down or something? What's your cost, billing, monitoring, error reporting, all of this. So basically, this is your dashboard, right? When you drive a car, you have a dashboard. You see everything on the dashboard. So this is your dashboard of Google Cloud. Okay. Let's look at. So on the left, you see all the services on Google Cloud. Basically, all your compute, serverless, databases, networking, operations, all the services you can see over here on the left. But for today's example, we are just going to look at BigQuery. Is it too small for the people who are watching from mobile? Let me zoom in. Okay, so this is BigQuery, right? Over here on the left, you will see your SQL workspace, which is basically writing your SQL queries. Then there is data transfers and schedule queries. We are just going to explore SQL workspace and schedule queries, right? And on over here, you write your SQL query, select star from XYZ. This is your workspace, basically. Okay, let's look at add data. So basically, what you can do is you can explore public data sets. See, you don't have to upload your own data. And today I'm going to look at Stack Overflow questions as a data set. So we go to social and Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow has provided all the example data set in BigQuery. which is kind of 1 TB. So basically, we'll look at those data today. Okay, so let's do a select star from, so just so that you guys know how our data looks like. So select star from, I don't know, I'm sure you guys must know select star from. It's a very basic SQL query. Select star from the data set, and this is the table name. Let's look at the table structure now. So just clicked control, and over here you see the table schema. It's ID, which is integer, string, body, creation date, when was the Stack Overflow question created, what is the answer count, user ID, parent ID, score, tags, all sorts of data, right? This is how you look at the schema in BigQuery. If you look at preview, you will see that an example of the data. So first 50 rows out of, I don't know, maybe 2 billion rows here. So title, body, you see this is HTML body of that Stack Overflow, answer count, everything. So this is a sample data that you see over here. I'm going to close it. And one very important thing that you will see over here is you will see that before even you run this query, okay, before even you run this query, you will see how much data will it process. So 36 GB when it runs. So that's so amazing, right? Before even you run your query, the Google will automatically tell you how much GB will it require to run this query. I'm not going to run select star right now, but this is just an example to show you. The example that we are going to look at is today. What percentage of questions that have been answered over the years? So I have already written the query. I'm just going to paste it over here. But this is just a comment. And this is how the query looks like. Okay. So select extract year. So we are taking year from the creation date. We're doing a count of star, basically number of questions. And we are doing a percentage of the questions that are answered. So basically, we are getting the percentage of questions that have been answered over the years, group by year, order by year. If you guys have done your DBMS or SQL subject properly, you would know what is a group by and order by query. I'm not going to explain that right now. But yeah, this is how it looks like. And I'm scanning the entire table, but look, it is only querying 340 MB. That means the data set is of 35 GB, but this query is only taking 340 MB. That's amazing, right? So it's a big data set, but we are still doing count and round and percentage. It's just accessing fraction of data. All right, let's run this query. I have run over here. You can see it's running. And you can see the results over here. So in 2008, 57,000 questions were asked. 99.9% of them were answered. In 2009, 340,000 were asked. 99% were answered, and so on and so forth. So this is how the table looks like. You can see your job took 2 seconds and the job information. How many bytes were processed, how many bytes were billed, all sorts of information. You can see your data in JSON, and you can see execution details. This is for advanced users. So basically, all the way to read, write, and compute, aggregation, output, this was there in your big data subject. If you have studied that, you would know here what is a compute and a write statement, right? So that's the result. Let's save it in a table in BigQuery so that we can use it in the Data Studio. So let's save it. I'm going to just create a new data set. Let's name it demo. Demo, location US, table expiry 1. I want to delete the table in one day because I don't want to keep it as just for demo. And you can use an encryption here. I don't want to use encryption for now. Just create data set, table name, Stack Overflow, export. So what this is doing is this is exporting the data from the query to a table, right? So if I go here, click demo, you will see a table called Stack Overflow, and you can see that the data is already stored. So this is basically your query is converted into a table. Now I'm going to import this table into into a visualization tool, which is Data Studio, and I'm going to create a dashboard quickly. I know we are running short of time, so let me just quickly create a dashboard. I've gone to datastudio.google.com. This is basically free tool to create dashboards. So just create new dashboard. And again, let me zoom in so that you guys can see. It is asking me to add a data to the report. So today I'm going to add BigQuery. The demo was our dataset name. Stack Overflow was the table name. I'm just going to click add. And that's it. That's how easy it is to create visualization from BigQuery to Data Studio. So I've added the data set, and it is by default created a table for me. I'm going to delete that. Okay, let's add a table here. Let me check. Yeah, let's add a table, insert a table. I'm just going to click here. In the dimensions I have here, and in the metrics, let's have number of questions. So this table will show me number of questions and the year. I can sort by this number of questions or sort by year, whatever. You can click and sort it, right? Let's add another table over here with year again, and let's this time do percentage of number questions answered, right? So this is basically two different tables. Let's sort this by year. So basically you can see 2022, 332,000 questions were answered. Sorry, number of questions were asked, and only 57% of them were answered. Right? Let's try to add a drop down here. It's like filtering, and now you can filter by year. So basically, let's say I want to filter just 2014. I can see number of questions and percentage of questions that were answered in 2014, right? So this is the dashboard that you can build. Let's try to add one scorecard. So basically, if I select all the years, I can see total numbers of questions that were asked in all the years of the data that I have. So that's 22 lakhs, no, 2 crore 23 lakhs, 23 lakh questions were asked. And if I filter down to any year, I can simply look at that year only. So that's basically what I've done over here is I've looked at the data, done the BigQuery query, I've imported that data into Data Studio, which is visualization, and you can create your own visualization. It's that simple. It's that straightforward to create a dashboard. Okay, let's add one more chart so that it's more visualization. So let's add a bar chart over here, which shows number of questions and a year. Over here, let's select all the years, and you can see the bar chart. So that means over the years, the number of questions asked has kept on increasing, right? That's a bar chart. It's a very basic bar chart. Yeah. All right. That's the demo. I know we are running short of time. We are already above 10 minutes. So I will stop here. I will stop the demo and I'll take one last question and then we can close it. I don't want to make you sit for a long time here. That's all in the demo. Any questions? I hope the demo was useful. It was a short one, but yeah.
It was quite interesting
Thank you.
what you have meant.
Shubhra is asking, could we apply OLAP operations? Yes, you can. Yes. All right. Any other questions? If not, then Sandeep, we are done over here in terms of demo.
Sir, here you have explained another type of querying, right? Other than OLAP.
Yes, but you can do your OLAP as well. So OLAP is basically online analytical processing system, and data warehouse is an OLAP as well.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to know for healthcare data, the huge amount of data which is there in healthcare, what kind of visualization of data, what tool, what method would be best for that? Visualization of healthcare data.
Yeah, thank you for that question. So basically, if you have to visualize any data, you can use Tableau or Data Studio. Data Studio is free if you are on Google Cloud. Tableau is a professional tool that a lot of companies use. In terms of method, there's no set method. You can develop your dashboard as you want. Depends on the use case. But in terms of tool, you can use Data Studio, Tableau, there's Power BI from Microsoft. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Siddhant is asking, in the demo you showed the data was 340 GB and it was converted to 300 MB or something. How it was done? What algorithm was it used? Okay, so basically the entire table is 340 GB, right? So understand that first. Then it is stored in terms of columnar storage. I don't know if you have studied that in your theory, but there is a concept called columnar storage and there is a row storage. So if you have data in columnar storage, the data is automatically reduced if you just choose some of the columns. So if you choose only 3 columns, it will only query that much data. And that's how the data is reduced to 340 MB. That column that I've selected are only 300 MB, right? So that's why the data is reduced. It is a columnar storage. So study about that if you want to understand more how the data was reduced, right? Thank you, Siddhant. Bunkers Gaming is asking, where can we find some use cases to test our learnings? So as I said, you have, if you go to BigQuery, you'll have public data set. There's all sort of public data set available. Start playing around with that data. It's free to use. You don't have to pay anything. And you can create your own dashboard. Just be creative. So that's how you can do some learning over there. Sharavari is asking, according to you, what serves as the backbone of BI? Backbone of BI is a data warehouse, of course. So basically, any good data warehouse like Google BigQuery serves as the backbone of BI. Thank you for asking the question. Which cloud certification would you recommend? Tamana is asking. You can, I did Google Cloud because I started with Google, but you can do Amazon and Google Cloud both. It depends. These days, a lot of new companies have started using Google Cloud, but the older mid-sized companies are still using Microsoft and Amazon. Microsoft is the first one, second is Amazon, and the third one is Google. Google is easier to use. It's an easier user interface, I think. But yeah, you can start with Google and go ahead with Amazon or Microsoft. Yeah, thank you, Tamanna.
Sir, there are different schemas for storing data warehouse: star schema, snowflake schema, fact constellation schema.
Yes.
And that is why I asked about a question: fact constellation schema, how it can be stored.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So you are confusing two things. One is the actual physical storage, which is the tables, and fact schema, dimension schema, facts constellation, star schema, snow schema is a layer on top of that. So if I have to show you, let me quickly show you how a star schema looks like. You can create a star schema in BigQuery. It's fine. But you have to write SQL query for that. Okay. So I've done a quick Google search. Open image. Yeah. So look at this. This is a star schema. And over here you have different tables. So dimension, dim is a dimension. In fact, is a center table, right? So as I said previously, anything which is numbers is a factual number. Anything which is not a number is a dimension. So this is how you form a fact and dimension schemas. And if you combine them, you make a star schema, right? But these are different tables. Physical storage is different. But if you have to query, you can query easily using a star schema. That's useful when you are doing your BI queries. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
And also the storage is multi-dimensional also.
Yes. You're right.
Basic is tabular format.
Yes,
Then,
basic
then when
is the bread and butter of everything. Tables. And then on top of that, you can create a star schema.
and where this multi-dimensional structure comes.
You can create your own schema. So basically multi-dimension or any other schema that you create on top of basic tables, you can do it in BigQuery. You can do it in anywhere. So imagine BigQuery and table as a tool, basic tools, and you can do anything advanced on top of that, right? Right. Before I take any other questions, there's a feedback form in the link. I would appreciate if you guys fill in the feedback. I want to know how was the session. And yeah, you can connect me on LinkedIn or yeah, LinkedIn would be the best place. Please search Ajay Moorjani. That's AJAYMOORJANI if you have any further questions. Shubhna, I would suggest you to read more about SCD, which is slowly changing dimensions, and you will get more understanding. In terms of this session, of course, because we have time limitation, I could not go into the details of everything.
Sir, any useful links for that?
Yeah, sure. I usually go to Wikipedia. Let me.
Hello, Ajay.
Yes. Yes.
Have you done?
Yes. All good. Done.
Okay, so I
don't know if
request all participants to fill up the feedback form so that they will get the certificate. Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear feedback if anyone has to say anything. It was good or what could have been better. Sandeep, if you have any feedback, I would appreciate that as well.
Thank you so much, Ajay sir. Now I would like to ask Amira to give vote of thanks.
Hello everyone. On behalf of Vatimal Institute, I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Ajay Murzani, Head of Data Analytics EasyShip Limited, United Kingdom, for accepting our invitation and spending his busiest time gracing the occasion. Today, we have got the opportunity to acquire knowledge and understand the practicality of the corporate world. With this has definitely encouraged us to host such an international event in the near future. Thank you, sir, for adorning the occasion and sharing your knowledge. I need to mention my deep sense of appreciation to our principal, Dr. Sunita Sharma, Vice Principal Mr. Avinash Gondal, HOD Mr. Dhananjay Raut, and Professor Sandeep More sir for organizing this international event on Google BigQuery. I would like to thank all the participants present here from throughout the globe for attending today's international event and making this event a big success. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Just 1 minute before winding up. May I know your full name so that I can send you a request on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
If I have anything.
Ajay Murjani. AJAYMOORJANI. Ajay Murjani.
Okay, Ajay. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is it. I think we can drop off now. Thank you.
Thanks, Ajay, for such a wonderful information sharing with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, all the participants, for attending today's event. I hope that near future our Watermelon Institute also arrange more international events, webinars, seminars, and I hope that you will also participate same like this. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
With the
Guys.
permission of our Watermelon principal, I would like to conclude today's event. Thank you.